Hey guys, and welcome to the Working Money channel. Alex Becker here on Twitter. I think he's hit the nail right on the head. Crypto is not just boring right now, it is embarrassing. The flow's completely out. This, though, guys, and this is the most important part, is where you will make all the money buying with relatively low risk. Not yet, but soon. Easiest 50x in history. So he's actually thinking that, the market is going to go down even further. Alex Becker continues by saying, in short, as everyone takes down their NFT PFPSs, changes their Twitter crypto titles, and removes .eth from their brand, this is when you want to start getting active again. So, this is, just another indicator, I guess, like a social indicator that has been observed by Alex Becker here that, the market is depressed. People are just not that interested in cryptocurrency. And, but this is going to be good, guys. This is good for us because these are the opportunities we need to seize. If you're still here watching the channel, I know this is not the euphoria that we experienced in 2021, but if you're still here, guys, this is the best time to be watching this channel and, getting advice, accumulating cryptocurrencies, what you can afford. Obviously, do not over leverage yourself. I also noticed that the ISO GOAT posted this with regards to a new Uphold update. So Uphold just updated an added feature to the site called Take Profit. Again, they're probably seeing people not trading as much, not as active, because the market has been so depressed. So now they are rolling this out with a single tap. You can set, and I thought this was actually going to be something interesting, but it just sounds like you can set your limit order to sell at a particular price, basically what traders have been doing for a dog's age. You can sell your asset with a limit order, buying when the price goes up by a percentage of your choice. It's that simple. If it fits your trading strategy, this allows you to automatically exit a position if it reaches a certain price. So, even they are, promoting things like this, I'm guessing because, they're seeing trading go down. XRP over the last few days has seen a bit of a pump. I mean, we've been getting a lot of great news, press releases galore. I'm going to be talking about a couple today, so take a look at that. Over the last few days, XRP has been moving up. If I throw that on the hourly, you guys can see this trend is looking pretty good. Pretty good, if you know what I mean. Who knows that reference? Put it down in the comments section. We started it off with the Hinman email news around Tuesday. That's what got XRP to initially pump. We did see a correction, and then, over the last few days, we have just seen a continual torrent of press releases. So XRP price right now trading at about 46.4. Let me bring up Bitcoin. Bitcoin is, fairly flat today, but that's on the hourly. Let me throw it on the daily for you guys. Again, though, guys, I mean, the daily is looking pretty good. We are making, this is a strong, healthy looking bullish trajectory upward. I mean, we have seen the trend go up since about January. We were basing back in November and December of 2022. That was essentially what we were calling the bottom at that point in time. That's when I got into my H-bar position, which I'm very, very happy about. Already cashed out of some of that and moved some profits into other coins. And, I'm changing up my strategy a little bit. I am starting I've already had the Patreon site. It's only $5 a month. And so I'm going to be adding not only my daily videos to that, but I'm also going to be adding mini videos, updates, trades that I'm going to be making. I'm basically going to be outlining all the trades I'm making in this bull run, and I'm going to let you guys know on the day when I'm making those trades and on the day when I'm cashing out of those trades. And we're going to see how much profit we can reap in this bull run. So that's a side thing. It's patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. If you guys are interested, $5 a month. I think it's actually pretty good value for what you're getting. And I know people are probably feeling squeezed right now. Not a lot of money to spend. This is why I decided, you know what? I only have one tier on my Patreon. I'm only going to charge $5. I know some people charge $30, $40, $50, upwards of $100 per month for, similar content. Trade with me, make profits, etc., etc. Again, not financial advice. It is only $5 a month. I thought it was good value. I just want you guys to be able to know. I mean, some of you guys have been asking me, Working Money Channel, what do you trade? How do you trade? How do I know what to trade? All this stuff. Again, I'm not giving financial advice. I'm just going to be documenting my trading on the Patreon channel. So if you guys are interested in that, again, patreon.com/workingmoneychannel. I mean, this is the time, guys. The market is ramping up and rearing to go. I mean, even the Bitcoin conference this year seems quite underwhelming compared to what we were seeing last year at the Bitcoin conference. I was in Miami in late April of last year, and I happened to catch, I didn't go to the Bitcoin conference, but I saw, a lot of the goings on over there. Somebody posted a video of it from this year, though, and I'm not going to play the video, but I'll leave it in the description for you guys. Bubba Cugs posted this on Twitter, just kind of demonstrating kind of how lame it is looking this year. And I mean, it's funny actually, because here, let me just throw on a price label here. Bitcoin today, Miami Bitcoin Conference 2023 is trading at 26,800. And last year, it was trading in and around, I want to say in and around here. So we'll say about $40,000 for Bitcoin. But in that 12-month span, we have seen nothing but turmoil, rejection, bear market sentiments. And, even though now we are moving up, people are still not understanding how exciting it is to be in cryptocurrency, because now, guys, now is the time where we are going to make our money. Eleanor Turret bringing this to our attention, takeaways from the stablecoin hearing. So there was just a stablecoin hearing yesterday. Seems to be an overwhelming consensus that stablecoins are not securities and should not be regulated by the SEC, but probably regulated at the state level. Witnesses and lawmakers agree there needs to be a sensible legislation from Congress in order to bring stablecoins into the mainstream. So here's a clip posted by Mr. Mann of what happened yesterday, some of what happened yesterday. I wanted to play you guys this. Listen to this.
To immediately redeem a stablecoin on a one-to-one basis. Please raise your hand if you agree. And stablecoin issuers should be prohibited from lending, leveraging, or commingling customer funds. Please raise your hand if you agree. A federally licensed stablecoin issuer should have a single federal regulator. Too many cooks in the kitchen creates regulatory confusion and duplication. If a stablecoin is a currency regulated by the Federal Reserve or a trust regulated by the OCC, it should not simultaneously be a security regulated by the SEC. Do you agree with that, Mr. Homer?
I do.
So an overwhelming reaction here, saying stablecoins should be, in fact, regulated by the Fed. They're seeing this as a currency, obviously, and rejecting the concept of a security. Mr. Mann here saying, I can see the narrative building for the SEC and CFTC to have members within Ripple because there's too many cooks in the kitchen attempting to regulate, so both will oversee it. Ripple Policy Framework states this. And he posts a link here to Ripple Policy Framework. He also posts this here. An open dialogue is precisely the aim of the Eliminate Barriers to Innovation Act, which has introduced on a bipartisan basis the House of Financial Services Committee, ranking members Patrick McHenry and Financial Technology Task Force Chair Representative Stephen Lynch. The bill, which requires the establishment of a collective working group consisting of appointees from the Security and Exchange Commission and the Commodity Futures Trading Commission, as well as representatives from fintech companies, financial firms, and small businesses, passed the House and remains pending in the Senate. Guys, we're moving very, very quickly here. I know it doesn't feel like we're moving quickly, in terms of crypto regulation for specific coins, but the stablecoin regulation, we always knew that was going to come first. Brad Garlinghouse was also making the rounds on CNBC yesterday. After the Medico news, I did a video on the Medico, or Medico, I guess is maybe how it's pronounced. Anyway, Brad addressed some of the things that we were always kind of wondering about, and then eventually more Ripple press releases came out. Listen to this.
Given the fact that there's a lot of caution out there in the investor community after a number of high-profile collapses in the crypto world, by getting in on the infrastructure more, are you trying to iron out some of the risk and volatility that's associated with this sector?
Well, I think at its core, this is a bet about the long-term view of where digital assets and blockchain technologies are going to change how financial institutions manage and certainly transact. At the core, we think there's going to be a lot of examples where through tokenization, you're going to see assets that we think about trading today that are tokenized. And institutions need to think about how they store digital assets today, known as cryptocurrencies, but also those tokens of the future. BlackRock's CEO, Larry Fink, talked about this being a multi-trillion-dollar asset business. And we think it's going to continue to grow. It's a great fit for us because it's really where Ripple has been throughout our history of focusing on infrastructure and solving real problems for real customers.
A few years ago, back in 2020, you had a bit of a run-in with the SEC. Medico is based in Switzerland. It's got non-US employees, as far as I know. Was that part of the appeal, given that US regulators are cracking down more and more on cryptocurrency companies?
Well, look, I think it's fair to say that the U.S. has made it as confusing as possible as to what the rules of the road are for the crypto industry. And frankly, it's why you're seeing entrepreneurship and investment flowing into other jurisdictions. Certainly, Europe has been a significant beneficiary of the confusion that has existed in the United States. And yes, as you described, the U.S. Securities Exchange Commission has really been at the forefront of that confusion. And unfortunately, that has encouraged companies like Ripple to invest more outside of the United States. About 95% of our customers are non-U.S. And this year, most of our hiring will be non-U.S. for some of those exact same reasons. Ripple, prior to this acquisition, we have about 800 employees. Medico has about 100 employees, as you described, almost all outside the United States, primarily in and around Europe. So we think it's a perfect fit, both from the type of customer, where we're trying to grow, where our customers are today. And so we're certainly very excited about it.
Brad, what should the post-FTX regulatory framework then look like for cryptos and governing cryptos?
I think it's a really important question because I think we conflate what happened with FTX as a crypto problem. And really, look, from my point of view, at its core, what happened with FTX is called a fraud. And frauds happen in lots of different, unfortunately, asset classes. It's not, unfortunately, specific to crypto. But when I talk about providing clarity and rules of the road, the rules of the road for FTX were clear. They just broke those rules. The challenge here in the United States, where Europe really has provided leadership, and countries like UAE, certainly the growth you're seeing in Dubai, but even the UK and Singapore, they're providing the clarity about how they will regulate these digital assets. And that allows, through those rules of the road, that allows entrepreneurs, that allows investors to go engage constructively with regulators. And again, the reason why Medico has been such a perfect fit for Ripple is from its beginning, it's been focused on infrastructure, enterprise, and working with the regulators. These are all regulated entities. That's true of Ripple's customers today, and the reason that we think Medico is such a perfect fit, and we're willing to pay $250 million, was because they also have that same DNA and that same ethos of focusing on an enterprise customer, working with regulators, and really being very global from the start.
So I didn't even think about this. They paid $250 million for Medico, and they also paid, it cost them rather, $200 million to fight the SEC. Could you imagine what they could have done if they did not have this lawsuit thrown at them? Anyway, Brad Garlinghouse bringing up some great points here. There was another clip from Dubai FinTech Week from a couple of months ago. Crypto Eddie here posted this. Ripple aspires to be more than just liquidity and payments. And Brad Garlinghouse also outlines that here. Acquisitions in crypto-friendly markets like the UAE and Switzerland for expansion. Listen to what Brad had to say here, and listen to how this relates to the latest batch of news that we recently got.
What I think will be next, and certainly something Ripple thinks about, we started with enterprise-based cross-border payments. We talk about there being four kind of primitive pieces to blockchain-based technologies: liquidity, compliance, liquidity, compliance, custody, and tokenization. And Ripple really aspires to be more than just that kind of liquidity and cross-border payments. I think you can expect that we will expand into some of those other areas, either organically or through acquisition. And I think we'll look at, let's make acquisitions in markets that are friendly to these technologies. On the previous panel, you had representation from the UAE, you had representation from Switzerland. These are countries that are providing the clarity for entrepreneurs to invest, and that allows a company like Ripple that is larger. We have more than $1 billion of US dollars cash on our balance sheet. We want to deploy that to grow both organically, internally, but also inorganically through acquisition.
Growing organically, inorganically through acquisition, and then a couple of months later, they announced the Medico partnership. So what Brad Garlinghouse says here, liquidity, compliance, custody, and the last one was tokenization, right, tokenization. So all things that we're noticing, Brad, has always been very clear, very transparent that Ripple wanted to move, into new verticals along the way, so moving away from cross-border payments. And then, guys, just yesterday we got this news from Mr. Man here on Twitter. Full-service platform allows users to seamlessly mint, manage, transact, and redeem CBDCs and stablecoins. So this just came out yesterday, with more than 90% of countries exploring, developing, and implementing central bank digital currencies as a way to increase financial inclusion and lower the cost and risk of domestic and cross-border payment processes. Today, Ripple is announcing the Ripple CBDC platform, a frictionless end-to-end solution for government, central banks, and financial institutions to issue their own central bank digital currency. So when we were getting this news of Palau and Bhutan and, all these all these countries, I put in quotes because really they're they're countries, but they're smaller island nations where, I think Ripple saw a good opportunity to run pilot projects to, have a central bank digital currency on a small scale, proof of concept. And then, this gave them the leverage to be able to release what they did release just yesterday, which is the Ripple Central Bank Digital Currency Platform. The Ripple CBDC platform enables central banks and governments to bring the next level of digitization to their financial services while promoting access to millions of people around the world who are unbanked, partnering with Ripple to help create our national digital currency as part of our commitment. So again, the press release, this is what's going to be issued, guys. Ledger technology, while still powered by the XRP ledger, Ripple CBDC platform is built on a new private ledger, underpinned by the XRPL's core energy efficient technology. The issuer, enabling issuers, central banks, monetary authorities, or commercial banks to manage the full life cycle of their fiat-based digital currency from minting to distribution, all the way to redemption and destruction, all in a higher, secure manner, taking advantage of the XRP ledger's built-in multi-signing capability. So again, a one-stop shop for issuing currency. You might not see a mint in the future, a physical place that produces fiat. Bills, notes, whatever, coins. Operator. This allows financial institutions who are holding significant amounts of digital currency to manage and participate in inter-institutional settlement and distribution functions. And then finally, end-user wallets. Users of digital currencies such as corporates and retail end users will be able to hold their digital currency securely and be able to pay and receive payments for goods and services in the same way other payment and banking apps provide this today, including for offline transactions and non-smartphone use cases. Interesting. And we had James Wallace, VP of Central Bank and Engagements for CBDCs at Ripple, talk about this. He came out, this is just an excerpt from an interview that he did. Listen to this.
Yeah, when we think about central bank digital currencies, we think about, it really being as a platform for innovation. So we think about sort of three basic primitives, right? One being, domestic use case for payments, with cash alternative being an example. We talk about wholesale, which is sort of interbank settlement. Then we also talk about cross-border. Those sort of basic primitives we think will be implemented by central banks. But really, the value of CBDC comes in the use cases.
Is it just me, or does anybody else share the pet peeve when somebody calls a CBDC a CBC? No shade, James Wallace, but get it right. Okay, so we got the Ripple Central Bank Digital Currency Platform now for banks. Obviously another one of Ripple's verticals, but guys, it is getting criticized and some are getting confused here. Ripple's new CBDC play has no direct need for XRP. This coming from Tim here. And, a lot of news outlets have been picking up on this. This is coming from Blockworks specifically. The platform is a frictionless end-to-end solution that would allow central banks, financial institutions, and governments to explore and issue CBDCs. And according to a press release, users can holistically manage and customize the entire life cycle of fiat-based central currencies. As we talked about, in 2021, Ripple announced a private ledger for CBDCs. At the time, Ripple said that XRP could be leveraged as a neutral bridge asset for frictionless value movement between CBDCs and other currencies. So, this is the thing. On the XRP ledger, there's always the option to use XRP. You do not have to use XRP, but what the creators of the ledger and what David Schwartz more specifically has always kind of touted is, we would want people to use XRP because we want to make it the most efficient way to move an asset from point A to point B. So XRP is the native token. And clearly, in my opinion, this is, what they would want this is what they would want their customers to utilize more frequently. So then the FUD, of course, started. Blockworks did have to put out another statement here. A Ripple spokesperson told Blockworks in an email, central banks using the CBDC platform do not use or interact with XRP, and I think this is where the FUD began. Let's see, the email says XRP LeBroccoli here. Andrew's here saying it's built on a private ledger, so of course it's not using XRP, but it can interact with XRP. So this is the point here that I think we want to emphasize. Interact with the XRP when bridging to other currencies. That's the whole point from the beginning. And David Schwartz even came out to clarify this, guys. The CBDC platform reaffirms the significance of the XRP ledger as it's built with the same core ledger technology. It has the ability to interact with the XRPL and use XRP as a bridge currency for cross-currency and cross-border payments. So again, it has the ability, David Schwartz coming out and clarifying that. XLM here, the beast of Wall Street, posting, it has the ability to. Does it mean it will? And I think this is an important response here from David Schwartz. Let me read you this. It's always difficult to predict what other people will choose to do. All we can do is remove technical barriers. I never recommend building products that require people to use XRP unless they're XRPL features, because that becomes a reason not to use the product. Vinci NFT saying, give them liberty to use the most efficient way. And David Schwartz says exactly. And guys, this is exactly it. The native token is obviously going to be, well, maybe not in all cases, but in this case, the most efficient way. David Schwartz says exactly. Then you get the largest set of users and the widest adoption. Then the only people who won't use XRP are people who would suffer from harm if they had to use it, and those who benefit from using XRP can easily do so. So you don't ever want to force anybody to use anything they don't want to use. Freedom of choice, right? This should be the key takeaway here. Ripple's central bank digital currency platform can use XRP, and these guys are saying it is the most efficient way to move tokens. Chances are that means that most central banks will in fact use central bank digital currencies through the XRP ledger, using XRP for that liquidity. And Anders here with another good point. Ripple is creating a one-stop shop for digital assets and use by financial institutions, banks, and enterprises. So now they're focusing on custody with Medico, cross-border payments and settlements, which they've been doing from the beginning, global networking, RippleNet, buy, sell different digital assets, tokenization, NFTs, and I'm sure much more is coming down the pipe. So guys, this is just the beginning. XRP trading right now at about 46.5 cents. Join my Patreon channel if you want to follow my trades. You can trade alongside me. That's just my opinion, but I want to hear what you guys think. Please subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Like the video if you like the content I'm providing. I always love hearing your comments. See you in the next one, guys.